Hi, my name is Siri Miraf, and this is not my first video. But it felt that I haven't properly introduced myself, so I decided that better late than never. So, hi, nice to meet you. I should probably start with some general facts about myself. I'm in my early 20s, live in Republic of Moldova. English is not my first language, so forgive me for all of my mistakes. I use they/them pronouns, and also I am a writer and an artist. I say this in the beginning of my videos, so now is a good time to actually tell my story more chronologically. As a child, I was always told that I was really creative. It tracks with my memory because I surely was having the biggest fun when I was able to create and imagine something. I don't remember at what age it started, but I had a fantasy world that I created, and it was a huge part of my life for years. I played games in this fantasy world, told stories to anybody who was willing to listen, and also had my first attempts at writing stories and drawing. A more serious part of my creative journey started when I was 12. It was the time when I decided that I really wanted to write a book. My first book idea was absolutely unoriginal. It basically repeated everything that I read at the time, and obviously I did not finish it. All I have from this time is a notebook where I wrote about 5 chapters, and another one when I had plans written for the next 10 or something books. So like a normal fate for the first project. But this book did something important in my life. I had a lot of plans for it and a lot of fantasy concepts that I imagined in my head, and I decided to draw them. This is how I actually started to draw seriously. Obviously, this first project was not the only one that I created. The door was open and new ideas appeared every other day. And I did what a lot of beginner writers do, started to work on everything at the same time. A strategy that never fails anyone. In my little system, I decided that the most important projects that were probably going to be like long epic series needed some kind of distinctions from others. So I gave them a number each. My first big story, second, third, and so on. The fifth one actually got completed, which turned out to be pretty short. Definitely not a giant project that I imagined. Then the sixth one was also finished. This one was a little bit longer, but still not a novel length. It was an important experience for me to actually start, write, and finish something. But I kinda love to pretend that these two stories don't exist. They were my first attempts at actually writing, and this is their only redeeming quality. The number system for my books stopped after that. And I continued to draw for years. I was serious, but not in terms of actually learning how to draw, but more in the sense that I just needed to draw a lot of my ideas. It was never meant to become a passion of itself. But it kinda did. After years of drawing and a few completely filled with ideas sketchbooks, I had an actual thought that I just love drawing. I love to draw. Not only to supplement my writing, but in general. And the strange thought was that I always considered my art to be just a side thing. I had friends in school who started to draw earlier than me and were much better. I was never even jealous because I didn't have any ambition to become better at drawing. I didn't think of myself as an artist, which is pretty ironic considering that after these first years of creating, I had so many more drawings than pages actually written. I loved drawing, and this was the start of a small but significant at the time crisis, because suddenly I didn't know what to do. Suddenly, I thought that maybe I needed to choose one thing that was more important to me. Do I want to be a writer who also kinda draws? Or do I want to be an artist who also sometimes writes? Because both of these things didn't sound right to me. I wanted to draw, and I wanted to continue to draw better. I wanted to go to an art school, and I wanted to be part of art community with my friends. I wanted to learn. But writing books is how it all started for me. It was the beginning. It was my first ambition. It didn't matter that I didn't have a lot of results to show for. It didn't matter that most of my books weren't finished. That after years of trying, I still didn't know what I was doing and what I needed to do. It was just simply important to me. I couldn't even imagine giving up. And in my head, there was just no future for me without writing. All of my ideas were waiting for me. I needed to write them. And in the end, here I am now, desperately trying to do both. After years of thinking, this is the only thing that I came up with. How I started to post on social media is also a little bit of a story. Starting all of it was not a spontaneous decision. I had my first attempt at developing my social media presence 5 or 6 years ago. It was the time when I thought that I could really only post my art because I followed a lot of art bloggers and not a lot of writers. So I just imitated what I saw and did what I thought I was supposed to do. I did not enjoy it. I really did not enjoy it, especially near the end. I tried to post a lot and it was hard. I tried to draw a lot of trades with other small artists and requests for my subscribers, and I hated it. I had a specific style at the time and I was so afraid to change something, to try something new, because I thought that my art style was the only thing that keeps my subscribers. I didn't know how to say anything about my writing and my books. To put it bluntly, I built an uncomfortable place for myself and it was driving me a little bit insane. I stopped posting there for years, and for the longest time I thought that it was it. I tried and I didn't like it. The end. It was not a good time in my life in general. A lot of stuff happened, including the pandemic. So looking back, it was pretty amazing to think that it was also the time when I started to work on the story that is going to change the whole trajectory of my life. It was the book series that I temporarily named Little Fairies. If you have seen anything that I posted on social media for the last few years, you have probably already seen this name. This was not a serious project. This was a little story that I started for fun. This story didn't have a number in my system of grandiose fantasy projects. In my head, it wasn't even a real book. At the time, I wasn't in a good headspace to start something that I thought gonna be good and important. I started something that I thought gonna be temporary and probably a little bit stupid. And this is how I started to write this book. I started to write it badly, didn't care about quality at all, didn't have any ambition for it, just wrote and wrote a story without any deep thoughts while coming up with ideas on the spot. Without good descriptions, big plans for the future plot, care for the words I used. And suddenly, after a few years, I found myself with the biggest project I have ever worked on in my entire life. To be fair, it was not on purpose. To be fair, back then I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It has been 7 years since I started to work on Little Fairies. 7 years of developing a story, rewriting, working on world building and characters. 7 years of me actually writing, actually beating all of my previous records of pages written. And after all of this time, I actually have a clear understanding that this story got big, that I still need years to finish it, if I'll be able to do it at all. Little Fairies became something bigger in my life, something absolutely and undeniably important to me. And an annoying thought started to creep into my brain. I want to give Little Fairies a chance. Not something groundbreaking, not millions of readers and endless popularity, but maybe at least one reader who would sincerely enjoy this book if I'd be able to finish it. Not my friends and family, but someone who just happened to read it because they were interested. And for someone to be able to find my book, I needed to give it a chance to be seen. And here is how, after years of being sure that social media is just not for me, I came back. And here I am now on my YouTube channel and on the other social media platforms, posting about my art and my books. My second attempt at posting on social media came with a lot of compromises with myself. I decided again to post mostly my art because I don't know what I want to post about my books. A lot of my stories are not finished, and I just prefer for people to read them when the books will actually be published. I don't want to talk a lot about nothing or share some random and specific info from my books. But I want for people to know that I am writing, that I'll try to publish something, that there is a big project on which I'll be working all of this time, and that there maybe will be other books and projects as well. I also didn't want to overwhelm myself with posting art like the last time, so I decided to develop a system that would work for me. What to post, when to post, and how to post. And now I can officially say, hi, my name is Siri Miraf and welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I'm going to post my art and also talk about my art and my working process. I will try to post based on my own internal schedule, but I don't want to announce anything for certain. I just want you to know that I'll try to post as consistently as I'm able to. All of this will be my humble attempt at introducing the world to my creative work. I will be releasing my books and maybe other projects when they and I will be ready for it, even if it takes me a really long time to get to that point. And who knows, maybe you'll become this one single person for whom I'm writing. If so, I will be very, very grateful. And for now, I should also mention that I post a lot more of my sketches to other social media platforms. If it is something you're interested in, you can check it out. All of the links will be in the description. I have already been posting on my social media for more than 2 years and for half a year on YouTube, but it really still feels like a beginning to me. A lot of things are really cool and I am absolutely grateful for all of the support I have already got, and for all of my art moods and for every like and kind word I received. But I also want to say sorry, and maybe sorry in advance for all of my awkwardness. I don't want to seem cold or unfriendly, but talking on social media is really hard for me, and sometimes I also take breaks from actually interacting with anything, even if I am regularly posting at the time. Just know that I really appreciate everybody here, even if I don't know how to show it properly yet. I hope that this is gonna be the beginning of a big and long journey, and I am very glad that I have the possibility to share it with the world. Thank you to all of you who watched this video all the way through the end. It was a bit awkward for me, but I am glad that I piqued at least someone's interest. Subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss my future videos, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye bye!